bring our powerhouse panel in for the first time on this Thursday morning. We've got former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist Amy Tarkanian back with us. Republican strategist and Turning Point USA contributor Erin Elmore is here. National Advisory Board member for Project 21, Chris Arps is here in sunny St. Louis, as always. And constitutional attorney and Newsmax contributor Amir Benno here as well. Chris, you knew I was going to say that. Say it every time.
I did. It's that we have this supply crunch. Pipe is the best way to go. And so that's why hopefully this company, Colonial, will in fact be able to restore operations by the end of the week, as they have said.
Okay, I hope the folks over at CNN this morning heard that. I just heard, and I quote, "The pipe is the best way to go." But I seem to remember 6 hours after taking the oath of office on January 20th, Joe Biden signed an executive order ending all construction on the Keystone Pipeline and putting a lot of people, a lot of good Americans out of work.
Good, hardworking, tax-paying Americans out of work. And now this is a total contradiction. And by the way, this pain at the pump is real. When you go buy bread and milk at the store, inflation is real. Joe Biden will take no responsibility for any of these things. The job report numbers really can't be disputed, but none of these things. We don't see any accountability from the top to the bottom. People make excuses. The mainstream media is making excuses. Honestly, I think this is, like you said, going to get much worse before it gets better until we have some sort of election to change things. Because this is really, I believe, a slippery slope into forms of socialism. We were energy independent under Donald Trump 1 year ago. There was peace, by the way, in the Middle East 1 year ago. We see all of the peace and all of the prosperity gone under Joe Biden. And once again, no accountability because the mainstream media and his supporters are complicit.
Yeah, we had peace in the Middle East 4 months ago, Erin, prior to Joe Biden taking office. Chris, quick question about Liz Cheney. We'll get into this more at the top of the hour. But so she was taken off the leadership yesterday. She's no longer conference chair. She's got a tough re-election up in 2022. Does this show how much power Donald Trump still has in the Republican Party?
Absolutely. I think this is a real sign for those classic old school rhinos and classic Republicans that the Donald Trump populist movement is alive and well. And you cannot stop progress. They think we're just going to go, air quotes, back to normal as Republicans. This has changed. Donald Trump has changed the party to be a working class, pick your stuff up by the bootstraps, the people that fight our wars and pay our taxes party, and you're not going to be able to stop that. The kind of candidates that are going to be running in 2022 are going to be those kind of populist candidates, and I think we've seen a total shift in the party, and it's here to stay. Sorry, Liz Cheney, you're out.
Yeah, she very well could be in Wyoming as well. That's why we call you guys a powerhouse panel. It's panels like that. We'll pick this conversation back up at the top of the hour. Rachel is with us right now. She's got to look at some
30 million Americans.
House panel, lots to talk about this morning. We've got former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist Amy Tarkanian back with us, attorney and Republican strategist for Turning Point USA. She's a contributor. Erin Elmore is here. Well, I think there needs to be somebody else to run against her to at least, to make it a competition. And I asked him then, and I said, well, who do you think that is? And he says, well, I'm not going to give you a name right now, but he kind of had a smile on his face. And then yesterday, I'm kind of, the day continues on. It looks like Chip Roy might actually toss his hat into the ring just to create some competition. I think Elise Stefanik's a shoo-in, but have you heard anything like that?
I agree with you. I think Elise Stefanik is the shoo-in. She is the heir apparent. She is that sort of younger, fresher, more Trump-esque candidate, and she's very well liked. So I do believe that she will be in Liz Cheney's spot. And I do believe that Liz Cheney has a very uphill battle if she wants to keep her seat, but we don't know who's emerging for that job. And we know that those primaries there are pretty tough. So this is going to be very interesting to watch it fold out over the next 2 years. But I think CNN is where she's going to end up as that talking head, as that token Republican, as you indicated. I do see Elise Stefanik as that role. And yeah, you know what? Let's have a little friendly, healthy competition. Everyone likes to watch something interesting, whether it's a horse race or a basketball game. Let's do the same with politics. We got to liven it up on the Republican side as well. So I'm sure she's up for the challenge and really ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Chris, I want to play you a soundbite. I thought this was interesting yesterday. So Joe Biden, he's got the leadership from both parties in the Oval Office for the first time in his presidency. Though.
Well, Joe Biden clearly isn't listening, or better yet, Joe Biden's handlers clearly aren't listening. What they intend to do is put gas on trucks and gas on trains, which we know is far more dangerous. And by the way, the job loss from Canada to the United States from the Keystone Pipeline ending has been devastating. This is not what we need to create jobs. All they talked about on the campaign trail was creations of jobs. And guess what? Getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline is not the answer. He said to the hardworking people of Pennsylvania, oh, just learn how to code. Just learn how to code. Do you know what those people think about that? It's an absolutely ridiculous assertion.
Right.
And now look what we have, gas shortages. And when you showed that video earlier of the two individuals fighting, that really hit me to the core. This is what's happening to our American brothers and sisters fighting over gas. And the most prosperous nation in the world that, as you said earlier, was energy independent just 4 short months ago. I really hope neither of these people voted for Joe Biden because, honestly, what's going on here? Every Democrat should really think right now when they're driving around to these gas stations and they are looking for gas, they should really think hard about their vote because he has created this whole entire manufactured crisis.
You know, and it goes back to former President Donald Trump too, and it's sticks and stones. And I used to say, listen, if you don't like what he says on Twitter, don't follow him. You know, don't be on Twitter, whatever. But I can tell you what, you know, besides he might have been, you know, you might not have liked what he said, and you might not agree with what he said all the time. All right, don't forget, this is not a career politician. This is not a guy like Joe Biden that was a bureaucrat. He was elected in 1972. That's how long he's been in Washington. There's no more swampy swamp creature than our current president. And I don't say that to be mean. That's just a fact. He got elected to the Senate in 1972. That's a long time ago. President Trump was a businessman. Amy, we've got inflation. Quickly, I want to touch on this. Kevin McCarthy weighed in on inflation. Arcanian, attorney, Republican strategist, and Turning Point USA contributor. Quite a title there. Erin Elmore is here. National Advisory Board member of Project 21. Christopher Arps. Parents are allowed to speak their minds. Parents are screaming and shouting, and they're just like, ha, ha, ha. No. It's totally different, Erin.
It is. And I've witnessed this at my son's school. Even the PTA moms, which their job is to organize bake sales and keep you on a calendar, but my son's school offered reading White Fragility. So I had to go to the headmaster and say, this isn't really the job, this is out of line. Parents are so opinionated right now because they realize their kids are not learning reading, writing, arithmetic, science. They're learning things like the 1619 Project and critical race theory when they can't even tie their shoes or do basic math.
Right.
So there are a lot of problems within our schools right now. The parents have actually had that light bulb moment and woken up and say, I need to be complicit in my child's education. I need to be an advocate for my child. What is my child learning? Are they on grade level for reading? Are they on grade level for other topics? Or are they learning about social justice in the classroom? So I think that these are important issues. I think that everyone watching today get involved locally, whether it's running for school board, city council, some sort of local government office, because if you want to be a voice for change, you have to be involved in the process.
All right, I want to talk about the gas situation. So Colonial Pipeline